Hey, welcome to my journey. Today's video is a different video. I'm going to show you, at the request of a subscriber, the menu planning book that I have started back using. I made this book, I don't know, maybe 3 years ago, and it came from a website called Made by Carmona. I will link directly to the menu page in the description box. She has a PDF file that you can't change, and then she has editable pages. Those are the ones I use, the ones that you can open up in your Word document, whatever Word. I use OpenOffice, and you can edit them. Whatever you need, breakfast, lunch, dinner, sides, beef, chicken, whatever you want your sheet to say, you can write that in there. Now, let me tell you, this is not a system that everybody's going to take to. Some people are going to say, oh my gosh, that's too much trouble. That's a lot of work to make a menu. Well, I used to do it and I enjoyed it. And then it's like people moved back home. Several people moved back home, and I just lost a space to work. And it just got to be, I didn't have anywhere to, like I'm back here in my craft room now. I didn't have, because there was always somebody somewhere, a space to open up my binder and open up my little books to look for recipes and stuff like that. So I just quit using it, and I started just scribbling in my notebook. And so last week I thought, I want to get my book back out. I have room back here. I have a whole desk, a craft desk here, and I want to get back to using it. I like it, but I like paper. I like shuffling paper. I like paperwork. I love that kind of stuff. And so this is not too much trouble to me. It is fun. And, if it's too much trouble for you, don't do it. But if it looks like something you might want to do, go to her website. And I'm giving her full credit because it was not my idea. None whatsoever was my idea. It was all on her website. And I made a video how I did it several years back. I said 2, but maybe 3 years back. I'm thinking maybe 3. So I'm sure maybe I've updated a better way to do it. It's the exact same book, exact same method, but I'm pretty sure the filming wasn't good. Not that it's, professional now, but I'm thinking it might be a little bit better. So I'm going to turn you around and show you this little system. It's a Post-it note system. It made last week go so fast. It took the guesswork out of it for me. The hardest thing I had to do was guess if I wanted to try new recipes. So let me turn you around and show you this little Post-it note system for menu planning. Okay, so before I show you how I use it, I'm going to show you the system and what you're going to need. You're going to need a binder, a good size binder. Then this is optional, but I find it helps to have one of these little pencil pouches with my pens, my marker, my Post-it notes. It's easy just to have everything at hand. Then you're going to need some page dividers, some page protectors, the plastic page protectors, and of course your printouts that you're going to get from her website. And then what I did is I put, this is just some old hanging file folders that I wasn't using. So I put, and you can get file folders from the Dollar Tree. If you're lucky, you can find the legal size, so you get more. Of course, I don't think you can get 2 out of legal size. I'm not sure. Anyway, putting that in there just gives it more body. It's more substantial to work with. And then that's all you need. And Post-it notes. Obviously, you need Post-it notes. Now, the extra that I use is these menu planning scratch sheets. So I start with my Post-it notes. Then I scratch everything on here to make my grocery list. These are so old, it's when I started my weeks on Friday. That's been a couple years ago, but I didn't want to throw these away. Um, just a waste of paper, so I just scratch it out and write Wednesday. This is a scratch page. And then my little pad that I had found when the Office Depot was going out of business. I got them for 60 cents, so I got a bunch of them. They're going to last me forever. This is the one that I put on my fridge. You don't have to have one of those. You can just look at your scratch sheet. You know, you can just look at your Post-it notes. You don't have to do any of this. These two are extra. These are not part of the system. You can stop once you get your Post-it notes in place. So that is the supplies you're going to need. Now, one of the questions was, how do I keep my recipes that I want to try? This is the main way. This is my bullet binder, and this is the one I'm working on now. So let's see, some recipes are handwritten. I'll just be like, this came out of I think it might have been a magazine. I don't know. Sometimes, no, if it's a magazine that I wasn't going to use, I'll tear it out. But sometimes I will write out of a cookbook, and sometimes I will copy it, print it and copy it. Sometimes I'll just copy the book page. However it is, I just put them all in here. And like you can see this right here, I make notes. This way it doesn't matter. You can scribble and scratch and carry on. I X that out because that did not work. That ratio did not work. But you can write on this. It don't matter if you get food on it, because it's nothing fancy. It's an old notebook that you're just pasting recipes in. But I had written down it was delicious, because it was very delicious. I made it from meal prep. But then as the week went on, it got too hot for me. The heat settled in. So I do it that, and then I come back here, and practically every single week I go through every single page, unless I know for a fact some of these that I have marked, my weeks just didn't go as planned, so I keep them marked. Unless I know there's something I want to make specifically, I'll read these books every single week. That's just become habit. And then there's also this way. Here's one of my tabs, recipes to try. I will sit and look at cookbooks. I'll just put my Post-it notes on here. I write the name of the cookbook, which this is Crock Pot Dump Meals. I'll name the recipe, which is mushroom beef stew, and page 42. So then I can turn to this page and like, I think this week I'm going to make that creamy Alfredo chicken pasta. Then I know I go find that cookbook and that page, and there it is. And I didn't have to write it, copy it, none of that. Now, for all my church cookbooks, I would never do that. I would just write it in my little notebook over here, because I would never put my hands back on that church cookbook again. So this is just good for your named cookbooks. Now, to get started with my menu planning, the first thing I consult is my freezer inventory. This tells me what I have to eat, and since I just found that really good sale on meats, the markdowns, I obviously want to use what I have without trying to buy anything except for hamburger. I want to take out I have breakfast, and this is, she has an editable file that you can open in your Word document, whichever application you use to do Word documents. And you can, this had breakfast, lunch, and dinner, but I erased, the lunch, because this is my breakfast page, my lunch page. Before, when I did it, I only had dinner, because I didn't plan my lunches and my breakfast at that time. So this could be optional for you. Maybe you don't plan breakfast and lunch, so just skip that part. But I always plan dinner. Well, I plan all three, and meal prep. Maybe you don't meal prep, so you don't need to worry about having a meal prep page. I'm going to put those behind there, because the only demonstration I'm going to do is dinner. because breakfast and lunch and meal prep will be exactly the same. So I've got my recipes categorized out. Main dishes, side dishes, breads, breakfast snacks, etc. So I'm looking at my, let me slide this over a little bit. I hope you can still see. I hope I'm not getting out of focus. I consult my inventory, and I know I don't want to have beef no more than twice this week. So I'm looking through here. Oh, I have a roast. I think I want to use a roast. So I come over here and I look over my beef recipes. Is there anything? There's an Instant Pot chuck roast. So I feel like that. There's a crock pot roast. There. Oh, there's a Mississippi pot roast. That's what I want. So I'm going to take it. And I know that that is a crock pot meal, and I think a crock pot meal will be good for Thursday. So I'm just going to put it right there on Thursday. That's breakfast. No, this is my dinner page. I was right to begin with. Put that there. Now, I'm not going to go through and fill up this whole sheet because you get the gist. So I'll pick out another beef, and then I'm like, I know I've got to have chicken at least twice, if not 3 times. So I come over here and I see, what do I have in the chicken department? Then I come over here and I say, oh, well, that sounds good. So I fill this first row up. That's got all my main dishes. Then the next thing I have to do is just plug in my sides. I'm trying to stay away from the carbs, but David likes to have a carb to round out his meal. So 9 times out of 10, I'm always going to have a carb. I know what goes good with Mississippi pot roast is cream potatoes because it's got that good gravy that it makes. So I'm going to put my cream potatoes on there. So I do that. All my main dishes, I check and see, do I want a carb? And what I consider a carb, I have these separated out. This helps me. So there's all my potatoes and my carby things. And then here's all my beans. I consider those a carb. Even though they're good carbs, they're still a carb. And then here's my greens and non-starchy vegetables. And at the time, I considered corn a vegetable, not a non-starch. It's not a non-starchy vegetable, but I put it in with it anyway. Excuse me. And so since we have our carb, let's see, what would go good with that? I think green beans would go good with that. So there we have it. Thursday's done. So just go through, do your whole menu. Do it for your lunch, do it for your breakfast, do it for your meal prep. Okay, then you're through. As far as this system goes, you are through. You can do with it whatever you want. What I do next is transfer it from my post-it note page to this page so that I can transfer it over here to my grocery list. So on Thursday, I'll look at, well, these days are not right. We'll go down here, Thursday. Mississippi pot roast. Well, I know I have the roast, and I know from memory that it uses an au jus packet, au jus, however you want to say it, a ranch packet, and some pepperoncinis. Now I can either have from memory that I have them or I don't. Make your grocery list according. Cream potatoes. Do I have potatoes? It's self-explanatory. And then when I get this all scribbled out and make sure I don't want to change anything, then I just write it on my refrigerator sheet and I'm done. So when it's the end of the menu plan and I got everything the way I want it, the easiest way to put these back is to just go by category. So I'm going to do all my beef. And you don't have to put it back in order. Just find an empty spot. And then just go and do all your chicken, etc., etc. Your side dishes. We know that was a carb. That's why it's easier to do separate sections for the various kinds of side dishes because you can look for days if they're not categorized within the category. So this is a non-starchy vegetable. We'll put it back there. Come back up to the front. Put our little sheets back in because all these have already been filled out. I'm through with them. I'll put them back in. And there's my extra supplies if I need them. Done for the week. When you find a recipe that you tried that you liked, all you gotta do is go over here, get your little marker, write it in. You got you a new recipe you want to try. Every recipe I try is not worthy to make again. It's okay to eat, but it's not worthy to make again. But that's all there is to it. So to me, it's simple because if I want beef, I know these are the beef dishes that we like and we'll eat on a regular basis. That way, I don't have to. I mean, I could make a list and consult the list. That you can do that if you don't want to do this. You can just make a list. Everything you like, consult that list. But I just like this method. I just enjoy it. So that is it. That is how you do the little Post-it note menu plan. If you have any questions about it, just send me a message, an email or something. It's down in my description box. So that'll do it for me today. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you on the next one.